As I say that, I'm hitting my record here. I'm so happy to have you here, and I love the topic that we're going to talk about today. So, welcome.
Thank you, Chabidaye. I'm so excited to be here and I just love you. And yes, like Chabidaye said, we met at Brendan Burchard's conference and I've been to several of those and the coaching summits and we were dancing and having all the joy, all the energy and such good times. So I'm so grateful that we met. And part of my topic today kind of has to do with why we met. We were kind of, I feel like, drawn together because we had the same energy, right?
Yeah, and I love that you bring that up. But before we hop into that, um, my friend Tara has this amazing podcast that you gotta listen to. It's called The Sunny Side with Tara, the Sunny Side Up podcast with Tara Lynn. I'm just looking here at my notes to make sure you get the right name. That's also in your summit dashboard, so the link is there for you to go listen. Doesn't it just sound like so amazing? My friend, how did you come up with that name, The Sunny Side?
Well, Shabade, I wanted to do a podcast for so long, and it was probably 3 years before I did one. And when thinking of a name, I wanted to have a name that really expressed what I wanted to express out into the world, which was vibrant life energy. And I wanted to bring sunshine into people's lives. So I thought about the word sunshine and bringing sunshine and I thought, well, the sunny side up, when you're down and it's a dreary day, what do you want the most? You want sunshine and you look up and it's the sunny side. So yeah, I decided to call it the Sunny Side Up podcast. And I do my best to be a source of sunshine and happiness and motivation for people out in the world. So yeah, that's the podcast. And I have all kinds of wellness topics, but it all comes down to giving you and everyone that inner motivation and hope and just like a mindset shift of starting the day in a sunshine way, sunny side up.
Yeah, I love that, my friend. Now, when people hear about the sunny side up, and I mean, you look beautiful and chirpy, and you got the yellow on, and they probably think like, wow, Tara's so lucky. She's got life, on the good side. But we know with the weather, it ain't sunshine all the time. We get
Mhm.
thunderstorms, we get
Yeah.
clouds, right? But some of us wait for that sunshine moment and we treasure it. So, my friend, when we're talking about energy, which is so important, it's also a high performance habit. How do we raise that vibrational energy so on those cloudy, stormy days, we're still able to have that positive energy?
Yeah. So energy, such a good topic. And as you know, with the work from Brennan Burchard and my work as a health and wellness coach, I teach people about vibrational energy and I teach them about energy physiologically as well. That's the basis, the physiology. I'm just briefly going to touch on that because it's more so my vibrational energy I'm going to talk about. But the three main components that I teach people about is nutrition, what we're putting into our body, movement, and sleep. Those are the three main components that I teach people about when it comes to increasing that physical energy every day. And more specifically, when it comes to energy, vibrational energy, it's a constant flow. So when I talk about vibrations in the universe and our vibrational energy, that is the way that we interact with everyone and everyone interacts with us. That has to do with our emotions, our social, emotional well being. And I have a little trick that I use, and I could do it right now, sort of a trick, but so I do a take five meditation. So it's take five with Tara Lynn, and it has to do with the five senses. Okay. So these are ways that you can very easily raise your vibrational energy on those days when it's low and we're down, or if we just kind of want to shift our mood. It's a vibrational meditation. So, um, if I may, Chabidaye,
Yes.
okay.
I'm like
So for
ready
this,
to go. Like, show me.
okay, I should also say, besides my podcast, and I do coaching. I also teach yoga, and so part of yoga we do at the end we do a shavasana, and sometimes I lead people through guided meditations, and some of my podcasts are meditation podcasts as well. So we start in a comfortable position. So if you're watching this right now, you can do it just a few minutes. So it's take five, just like 5 minutes. So you sit relaxed in a relaxed pose. You can relax your shoulders down, elongate the spine. You can relax your arms out and your palms up, and start with some deep breaths. So, taking some nice deep breaths in and out through the nose, just breathing in and thinking about filling up your lungs fully and completely, and breathing out. And again, another breath, breathing in and breathing out. Our five senses. The first one, and you can either do this with your eyes closed or eyes open, but our sense of sight. We'll start with sight. So, with our sense of sight, we're going to look at what we see around us. This is also can be done in a manner where we're visualizing. So, you can either look at what's in your actual surroundings, look what's around you, look at who's around you, and focus on the colors you see, the shapes that you see. Notice if there's bright light, if there's darkness, if there's bright colors, dark colors, the textures of the things around you. This is where also you can call to mind an image in your mind and visualize that in our third eye, we call that, and think of the way this object, a person, place, or thing looks, the way the colors are, the way it's shaped, and really think about that and breathe it in. So, when we do the five senses, so this is the one of sight. When we're looking at an object, we're looking at our surroundings, we're really taking it in. And I tell people, breathe it in. So that means you're holding it maybe 2 beats longer than you would normally hold it. So holding the gaze 2 beats longer if you're really taking something in. So already, as you can probably tell, this is causing you to kind of slow down what you're doing and focus, because if you're holding something, a gaze, a thought, 2 beats longer, and you breathe in intentionally, what's that going to do? It's going to cause your nervous system to calm down. It's going to cause you to focus, and it's going to take away whatever you were just thinking about that might have caused worry to you. So that's the first sense, the sense of sight. The next sense, our sense of hearing. So for this, you can pause, and I invite you to do this right now and think about what you hear. You might hear a fan going in the room. Maybe you hear rain. Where I am right now, it's actually raining. I can hear raindrops. You might hear, sometimes there's like a real little buzzing of a light. Sometimes if you have those fluorescent lights, you might hear a little buzzing. So you get real quiet and just take that in and breathe out and think about what you are hearing. Now, Our hearing sense, we can also take control of. So if you are in an environment where there's maybe sounds you don't like, maybe you're in a city and there's people honking, there's cars going by, or maybe there's people fighting in the next room, you can take control of your environment as well. You can put on music. And I know this is something you talked about, Chabidaye, as well, but music will change your mood instantly and it will raise your vibrational energy. Why does it do that? Because it is changing what you are inputting. And we're inputting our five senses constantly. That's how we experience the world. And hearing's one of our five senses. So that's why this five senses meditation helps you to experience the world differently, to raise your vibrations. So that's our sense of hearing. So we did sight, we did hearing. The next one, smell. So our sense of smell, I invite you to think about taking a nice deep breath in, breathing in through your nose. Do you smell anything? You might not. You might smell, it might just be fresh air. Maybe it's something stinky. Who knows? Doesn't matter. The point is that sense of smell and the awareness of smelling is helping you be aware of your environment, of where you are. That's something you can take control of also. I'm a big proponent of essential oils. I don't know if you use essential oils, Chabidaye, but lavender. Lavender oil is a scent that is known for the ability to have a calming effect. So there's different scents. You can do different research on different scents, and you can intentionally put those scents into your space. Like right now, I have a diffuser, and I put some drops of oil in it, some lavender, and there's like a nice calming scent. Citrusy scents are very good for uplifting your mood. So those types of things can help shift your mindset, and they can help raise your vibrational energy. So you can raise your vibrational energy from any one of these senses. The sense of smell, guaranteed, if you're around a smell that you enjoy, it's going to raise your vibration. This could also be if you think about the smell of maybe coffee. Maybe if you like coffee and that smell, you might notice if you're ever walking in the office and somebody just made a fresh pot of coffee, you're like, oh, and it just gives you like a nice scent. What happened? What happened was you experienced the universe through your senses, and it shifted your mindset. So maybe you walked by and you were all worried and distracted, and you smelled that and you're like, oh, that's if it's a good smell to you. That's if it's a good one. Another scent like that, fresh grass, fresh cut grass. I enjoy that scent. So if I ever maybe walking from my car to someplace else and I smell that, what does it do? It brings me out of my chaos and it raises my vibration by bringing awareness to the universe. So the sight, the hearing, the scent, that was three of them. The next one, we're gonna do touch. Touch is the one I usually forget, but I just remembered that next. But our sense of touch can also raise our vibration. So that can be anything from the way we are experiencing our physical surroundings by what we're touching. So right now, if you have your palms down and you're physically touching your pants, your skirt, if you kind of move your hands just back and forth, just kind of go back and forth, thinking about how does that feel? Maybe you have on a soft material, maybe it's rough. If you are touching a surface, think about, is it hard? Is it soft? So you're going to think about that and breathe it in and then breathe out. Now, another way to think about touch, instead of thinking about it as we're touching something, you can think about it as something is touching us. So that's just sort of a different way. So when I teach yoga, for example, when we're laying on the mat um, at the final relaxation, I will tell people, think about how your body feels as the mat is supporting you. Think about the spaces in your body that are touching the mat. And you might think right now, well, I'm not touching anything, nothing's touching me. Think about how the air feels against your skin. Everyone right now, wherever you are, we have air around you. And if you stop and think and breathe it in, yes, there is a feeling there because your arms are out in the air, you know? Um, Something else that's really good with touch is, and this raises your vibrational energy, is if you ever go outside, and this sounds really hippie, but taking your socks and shoes off and standing in the grass, and then your feet are touching the grass. You are touching the grass, and the grass is touching you. It goes both ways, you know? And there's a vibrational energy in the earth that comes from the earth. The grass is alive, you know, and there's energy all around us. So if you ever want to try that, if you've never tried that, it's so simple. And it's people might think, oh, I'm going to look stupid. But if you ever go out in the grass bare feet and just stand there and just breathe it in, just take it in, it will change your state and it'll raise your vibrational energy by putting yourself out in a different environment in nature, because nature is something that always will help to raise your vibration, you know. Okay, so sight, we talked about sight, and this is my take 5. This is my take 5 meditation with Tara Lynn. So the 5 senses are sight, our hearing, our smelling, our touching. Taste. Taste is the last one. Taste is the last one. So for taste, you may or may not be eating or drinking. Obviously, we are not eating or drinking right now. But if you think about something that has a good taste, you could think about it. Maybe you like the taste of whatever it is, coffee, chocolate chip cookies, anything. That will shift your energy. So it will. Food and drink will also shift your energy. Or if you put some gum in your mouth or a mint, it's something that disrupts the pattern of energy in your state. So since we're all in a state of energy constantly, there's constantly an energy flow. If you do anything with the 5 senses, you're going to change your state. So you have to make a movement or an action to change your state, and you're going to change that vibrational energy to a higher level of energy. And we all want to be at a higher vibrational energy, because a higher vibrational energy equates to better emotional well-being, which means how we're feeling, you know. So that's why I love yoga, and I love doing my podcast, because I try to help bring people into themselves and make these shifts in their self, in their environment, to help raise their vibrational energy, to help them feel better. Because it all comes down to, we all want to feel better, you know. We all want to feel good. We all want to feel happy. And when we think we don't have control over it, then you're hopeless. But really, you do. Everyone has control over your 5 senses. You do. You have control over your mind. You have control over what you think. You have control over your environment and where you are right this second, you know. So those are things that you can do to raise your vibrational energy. It's the five senses meditation. So I call it Take 5 with Tara Lynn. So again, it just causes you to stop and think. And so with the 5 senses, sometimes if you're trying to be calm or meditate, sometimes people are like, I don't know what to think of. I always feel like this is good because it gives you something to think of. You don't know what to think of. Well, what do you see right now? What do you hear? What do you go through it, you know? And so it's pretty simple, pretty easy. So yeah, so that's a
Tara,
little bit about yeah.
you say it's simple, but what you just taught us there was so powerful. You know, we talked about burnout before, we talked about stress earlier, and a lot of us, the reason why we want a different lifestyle and business, a more richer, fulfilling lifestyle and business, is because we want it without the stress and burnout. We want to be happier. We want to, find joy. We want to find those everyday richness, which is what you just taught us in the take five. As you were going through the five, I'm like, oh my gosh, when you talked about what we see, as soon as this event is done, I'm going outside. Because what do I see? I see my beautiful garden, right?
Mhm,
What do I
mhm.
hear? I hear the bees, I hear the birds outside, I hear the wind, I feel the wind on my face. And maybe that's why I like to go on my swing, because as I'm swinging, I feel that wind and I can let it just all go. The taste, well, I'm not gonna have cheesecake today, but I'm gonna get something else to eat to work on the taste. But it's so amazing because that simple take five that you taught us is the secret to how we become present.
Yes, absolutely. And I constantly use that to help me be present because I, like you, I'm sure are in a lot of different places throughout the day. Like today, I've already taught a class, I've worked out, I've been with my kids. I'm all over the place. But when it's time to be present, I can be present. And that is how I'm like, okay, where am I? What do I see? What do I hear? I'm
Yeah.
going to breathe it in. Take time with each one and you're breathing it in, you're taking it in. And that's how you be present.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love that you share that with us because a lot of time, in the stress and the worry or the busyness of life, we forget to take five for ourselves to reground ourselves, to set that intention of what do we want next? What are we actually doing? What are we chasing? What am I feeling? And you've just given us five secret tips that we can use, in 5 minutes only to get that back, to get ourselves back to present. Thank you. That was so brilliant.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you think so. Thank you, Chabidaye. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So yeah, I really enjoy talking to people and sharing things like this because so many people think it's not in their control or they think, well, how can I smile and be happy when this is going on or this is going on and this is going on and they don't think about, well, what can you control right now? You can control this. You can pull it in. You can raise your vibrational energy, which causes you to be happy and present in the moment. That doesn't mean you don't have problems. Like I have a ton of problems, but I will tell you right now, I am very happy, and right this moment, I am happy and grateful to be here.
My
So,
friend, and that's the richness of life. You can have all the
mhm,
things going on, but you have that present moment where you make a difference, where you take care of you or you make a difference in that other person. You made that other person smile or you encourage them. Those are the everyday richness that we want stacked into our 24 hours. So when we hit the pillow at night, we know it was a good day. I made an impact on somebody and I'm ready to get up and go tomorrow. My friend, it was an honor having you here on the Woman on the Rise Summit. Please, everyone, go subscribe and follow Tara on her podcast, The Sunny Side Up, because we all have those rainy days in our life when we need a little bit more sunshine. Thank you so much, my friend.
yes, thank you, Shabade. You're wonderful. I love you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.